This is one of the harsh truths about running a business that most people don't talk about. I think certainly now in today's day and age, everyone just shows off about their business. Oh, here's my new supercar, here's my new apartment, here's my new watch, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why no one actually talks about like the difficult stuff in terms of running a business. Hopefully you get some value from this video and again just me opening up about stuff. So obviously when my son was born last year, he had basically an issue with his ureters. So the ureters are like the tubes that come out of the kidneys. So he had an issue with his ureters and we thought we were going to have to get operations anyway to have these fixed. When he was about 4 weeks old, he had a temperature, really, really bad UTI. We got admitted to hospital for a week, and obviously the main thing with that when you have the issue with the ureters is that the urine basically refluxes back into your kidneys, right? So the ureters are just little tubes. You can fix these. The kidneys are the main thing because if you end up with kidney damage off the back of that, it's then long-term health implications that you have. So these are all the things that we've had going on this year. I would say on average we've probably had about 3 hospital appointments each week on average since he was born. My business has not suffered in any way, shape or form because I refuse to allow it to suffer in any way, shape or form. You need to remove the emotion from your business entirely in terms of the stuff that you want to do and the stuff that you just needed to get done. So we had that. He then had his first operation in November last year, and maybe 2 months ago we found out that the operation didn't work. So he still has, I think it was a grade 3 and grade 4 urinary reflux on both sides, which is not ideal, but again he had the worst stage of reflux. He had like a stage 5 reflux. So they were kind of warning us about the initial operation and said that because the reflux is super, super high, it might actually not fix the issue. So they said, don't get your hopes up, it probably won't, but it was enough to protect the kidneys. So we had I think it was called a sonar scan done recently, and the kidney function is perfect in both kidneys. So the operation technically hasn't worked because the reflux is still there, but it's enough to protect the kidneys, right? So that's just a very, very basic backstory into this. Don't let these things impact your business. So yesterday, again, if you can probably tell, I've not even showered. Yesterday, I was working and we were at the beach with the wee man in the morning, absolutely fine. He then woke up from his first nap and temperature was through the roof. So this is basically what happened the first time when he had the bad UTI. He stopped eating and his temperature was super high. So we basically raced to the hospital to get him in. By the time we got to hospital, he was unresponsive. He was having what they call rigor, which is like violent, sort of uncontrollable shaking. So it was a very scary experience all round, being new parents. So yesterday we had the same thing. Now, I had calls booked all day yesterday. Calls booked in all day. And thankfully we have a nanny as well, so that we know very, very well. She gets on very well with my wife and with my son, Daniel. So Christina then said, right, okay, he's not eating again, he feels very, very hot. Took his temperature's through the roof. So they're then back off to A&E. I'm then having to think about this stuff as well, so I need to get stuff packed to the hospital. So between doing calls yesterday, again, you can't let this then impact you on calls. You still need to be very, very professional with these things. Don't let external stresses impact your work. It's the number one thing, and you will just get better with this with time. So we then had this yesterday, had to go up to the hospital last night. Thankfully, it was not a UTI. That was the biggest concern. If it's a UTI, he's been on antibiotics since he was born, and that was our kind of big fear, that he might then become sort of immune or build up like a tolerance to the antibiotics, which thankfully hasn't happened. It wasn't a UTI, it's just some other bacterial infection. Last night was a super rough night as well. Up loads of times during the night, his temperature was back up at 39, he's not sleeping properly. Even today we then let him sleep until I think about 9. Usually we get him up about 7 in the morning. Super grumpy all day, not eating properly, kind of out of routine with it. Christina managed to get a shower this morning. I've still not showered. And again, the main thing that I did today, once they were fine. So woke up, Christina fed the wee one. They were kind of playing a wee bit today. But the main thing I did was catch up with all of my clients. All of my clients. So I've caught up with everyone. I sent out basically an apology for lack of communication because I had a few messages to get caught up with yesterday. I put my out of office on yesterday as well when I was going to the hospital, so I had a few messages kind of bounce back, so at least people knew what was going on. So even if you do have stuff like this going on, right, you need to think about the fact that you're running a business, right? You are running a company and you need to prioritize that. The main reason that I do that without feeling selfish is because I know that I do it for them. I do it for my wife, I do it for my son, I do it for the rest of my family and all of my future kids. So you can't let these external things impact you, because I hear this all the time from just coaches in general, people that we work with. Some minor thing happens and it throws things completely off. And you'll know yourself with clients. I mean, you'll know yourself from clients, there'll be a minor thing happen over the course of the week and it throws the rest of the week off. So you need to be super professional with these things. You need to lead by example with these things, especially if you have a team or if you have people that work with you in your company. You need to just lead by example with these things. So every single client that I have touched base with. Every single person. The only thing I've not done is social media posts. Again, I don't tend to post at the weekend anyway. But you need to make sure that you have the right mindset for this. You need to make sure that you have the right mindset for this. Obviously, I was in the police for nearly a decade. I have dealt with the most high-level stress incidents you could possibly imagine. I think that has probably been one of the main things that allows me to just completely detach from the professional thing. So we could go to the police, and if you just shut your eyes and think about the most messed up scene, whether it's a fatal road accident, whether it's a sudden death, anything at all that you deal with, you have to go and deal with it and detach from it and just be professional, because there's members of the public, there's family members there, and they're looking at you to lead by example. So if you don't have that mindset, it might not be the best thing for you to have your own business, to have it as a successful business. If you want to sit around £2,000 a month and make £2,000 a month and kind of sit back and not really treat your thing as a business, then that's fine. But if you want it to be a business, if you want to grow a business, if you want all of the people who put their faith in you and work with you in your business, you need to just be professional with it no matter what happens. Like, you can't take your foot off the gas for this stuff no matter what is going on. Obviously, if there's super big emergencies going on, yeah, put an out of office on like I did yesterday. And then when you have time, catch up with people. The last thing I wanted to do today is sit on my phone for 3 hours, catching up with messages, and then film a video for YouTube. But these are non-negotiable things that I must do. And hopefully you guys will get something from this, because I genuinely think some people struggle more with the mindset in business more than anything else. More than anything else. And it's the number one thing that you can control. You need to deal with it professionally. If you need any tips on this, join our members group. We have a full section on mindset and business. Link is in the bio. If you did find this useful, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.